Okay, so we're going to quickly have a look at how to start to create and build up your audiobook project. First thing we need to do is create a new project by tapping on the plus icon up at the top of your screen near the battery icon. The next thing we are going to do is scroll along until we find the audio recorder, because we're going to start with the Stony narration, and you're going to click where it says voice. Automatically this opens up a screen with the picture of a microphone. Now at the side, as I'm talking, you should be able to see a green line going up and down. That is your signal. What we ideally want for a nice signal or gain is to make sure that we are not getting any nasty peaking when your signal is too high and it goes all the way up to the top and is red. In the final product, that's not going to sound very nice because it's going to be quite distorted. So how do we fix it? Dead easy. We can bring our gain down by tapping on the little circle and dragging it down so that we're getting a nice green line. If you find that that isn't working, then an easy thing for you to do is physically move back from the iPad so that you're not as close. That works as well. Once you have set your gain, you are ready to get a setting for your microphone. If you click on the picture of the microphone, some presets come up: lead vocals, radio, punchy, heavy, extreme, narrator, etc. So it would be a good idea to have a go with some of these and see which one you like the sound of best. I think I'm going to pick narrator because that's what we're doing, we're narrating a story. Once you've selected it, just press done and it brings you back to this. Something that's worth keeping in mind as we go through this project, this is what we call Studio View, where you can play about with the different presets and the sound that you're getting. You might want to think about using what we call the fun setting to create some of your sounds for your story later on. If you select fun, you'll notice it changes. You tap where it says OK, and all these cool little graphics come up, and these are different like special effects you can put over your voice to change them quite dramatically, and that might add some character and some fun into your audiobook. So we're just about ready to start recording a narration. A couple of things I would like you to do before you do your first recording: make sure that you don't have an automatic cut off on your recording. Sometimes the iPad projects start and they say we're going to stop the recording after 8 bars. We don't want that while we're doing this recording, so we need to press the plus beside the numbers along the top. And here it says section 8 bars, so that means it's going to stop recording after 8. So we're going to tap on that, and we're just going to, you can either scroll it up to a really high number that you know you're not going to go beyond, and that does it, or you can click automatic and it automatically adjusts as we go. We also want to make sure that we don't have the metronome selected, so we want that not to be blue, we want it to be grey. And we also want to go into the settings, the little settings wheel. We don't want the metronome count in because we're not playing music in this one, so that's not as important. And that is us ready to do our first recording. So to start the recording, it's very simple. You just make sure you go back to start your track or wherever you are recording from and press the red circle, which is the record button. The story I am working from today is The Very Hungry Caterpillar by Eric Carroll. In the light of the moon, a little egg lay on a leaf. One Sunday morning, the warm sun came up and pop! Out of the egg came a tiny and very hungry caterpillar. He started to look for some food. So that's us now got our recording. To To have a look at it, to see what it looks like and that it's on our track, you can select the little icon up at the top, and this shows you visually our recording. Okay, so while we are in this screen, you can see our visual representation of our recording, our wavelength. Where there are bumps and where the line gets fatter and bigger, that's where the sound that's been recorded is. The straight lines are silences. We can get rid of these silences if we don't want them in a couple of different ways. The easiest is if you tap on your wavelength once, you can scroll to make it nice and neat, and then you can drag the whole thing along. You can tidy up at the end as well by doing that. You'll also notice that in the middle I've got quite a big section there with no talking, it's just silence. So to tidy that up, I grab the tab where it says number 1, there's a little triangle. If you grab that and drag it to where you want it to be, so I'm going to cut it in the middle of the silence. Tap on that line, tap again. Where it says split, you're going to select that. And you've got a little pair of scissors that's appeared on that line to cut down, to separate, to split the track. You are going to just swipe down the way on the scissors. And now you've got two separate bits that you can move and edit independently of each other. This, I think, will be very handy as you go on when you're spacing out your narration to fit in all your sound effects round about it. It also means that you can select small clips. Say I wanted to copy my introduction and put it in again, I would just click copy. Move that little tab again to where I wanted it to be. And then tap, paste, and so on. As your project progresses, it's also worth keeping in mind that you can zoom in and zoom out of your screen so that you can get into the really fine detail of your project and your recordings. To make a zoom in, you just use the screen and use your fingers to make it the space longer. So our first bar now takes up pretty much the whole screen. If I wanted to then shrink that back down again, I would pinch in to get it smaller so I could see it all on the one screen.